Big hugs to all, oh, are we on now? Okay, big hugs to all our lovelies.
Hello, beautiful humans.
Yes.
I don't know if you see my
red pants.
sword earring here, but I didn't check the size.
That's a long
cool.
one.
Wow, the
Oh,
light
look at it
reflected off of it.
glittery. Ooh,
Glowing
girl.
like the metal at an edge of a knife.
Ah, no pun intended.
So, kind of winging it here, got a little bit of something. I figured now I'm just realizing you guys haven't seen this.
It's a
giant onesie that I own. But
big girls wearing
I made myself a t-shirt today that says, "Trust me, I'm a doctor." And if you haven't noticed, that's Danny DeVito, aka Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny.
Great series.
So good series, good times, good knives.
Yes. And I'm wearing my pajamas.
So
that you saw in the last video.
if you haven't watched It's Always Sunny and you don't think you're gonna like it because people constantly have a misconception that the show, you're supposed to idolize these characters. You're supposed to recognize they're all awful, awful people.
They're horrible human beings. And that's what part of it is. It's a parody.
It's really dry in her house, so that's why we usually film at my house, so don't mind my voice and my constant sipping.
Yeah. The man that lives here, he has the pellet stoves and the coal stove going, so it's hot.
Yes. So I found this today, and it made me chuckle. So I'm going to read it to her. She has literally not even the slightest possible bit idea about what I'm about to read.
All I know is it has nothing to do with It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yes, or being a doctor.
Or being a
trust
doctor.
me, I'm a doctor. So every once in a while I find these very short little things, and they make me chuckle.
I think they like them too.
So listen up. Making love is great, but have you ever gone camping in the winter with somebody special, laid out under the bright, unspoiled country stars in the middle of nowhere, holding their hand, just kind of dreaming out loud about your future together, and how they aren't saying a word because words would ruin it. They just keep squeezing your hand real tight, looking at you with those big sweet eyes, and then your phone goes off. How do I get service out here? You almost want to ignore it because the moment is so perfect, but you check, just in case. And it's a text from your lover saying they woke up in the tent without you, and they were very nervous, and the sick sickening realization that whatever is holding your hand hasn't said a word for the past 30 minutes, but keeps staring at you, blinking one eye at a time, breathing out of sync, almost like it is mimicking you by moving its chest up and down without actually breathing. And now that tight grip on your hand isn't quite as comforting as it was 8 seconds ago.
What is it?
It's probably like, let's just say like it's some unhuman thing. But it's the concept, so it kind of draws you in. But then imagine this scene. So like, you're laying with your partner, you're holding hands, it's wonderful, no one's speaking, looking at the beautiful stars, and they're just looking at you and blinking, and then you realize that the person holding your hand isn't your mate at all, and you're next to some non-human, fake breathing thing that's gripping your hand tighter and tighter.
But that would be cool too, though.
It depends on
I know,
what
I
it is.
probably would scream and be freaked out and then go like, so what's your name?
It's also amusing because of the concept of, the concept of perception. That hand that they were holding and the moment they were sharing was so beautiful and wonderful. But then with the slightest change of actual information of what was happening,
who's holding your hand?
changed everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a whole
So I just thought that was pretty
Yeah,
easy.
I was hoping that you would tell me what it was that was holding their hand.
I'm saying robot.
It's blinking.
Or AI of some kind.
Yeah.
Where it's fake breathing.
I don't think of an animal that does that.
But if you really want to freak yourself out, look into artificial intelligence. It is crazy.
It's very
They
frightening.
can think.
Yeah.
They program. We've made movies
They
about
make
it.
them. That one guy made one. Well, he made one of himself, but then he made one of this beautiful woman, and they program, and she has all the mannerisms.
Is this the Japanese?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And it actually has conversations with you and stuff. I mean, I'm a little bit younger than Disneyland in California, and we had all the animated, it's a good small world, the bears and stuff, and just in my lifetime, I can imagine in your lifetime, but my lifetime was really when.
Well, there was one point where I had to hear the phone ring and get to it before it hung up because there was no answering machine.
Yeah.
And I would take the phone off the wall and say hello and be like, oh, hold on, like find this person, and then put the phone down.
And go look. Yeah.
Then I would go sit on my computer to look up my MapQuest directions, to print out my MapQuest directions, to have a sheet of paper that I would bring in the car and hopefully not miss a turn.
You actually had the Hangstrom maps.
Oh yeah, I started with
I
Hangstrom.
started with
I
the
mean, I
Hangstrom
still have a
maps.
Hangstrom map. I always have a
It's always
Hangstrom
good to
map in
have
my
that.
car.
If you don't
And I
have
love maps.
But also too, if you don't, I mean, I've had that where I drove someplace using my Google map, and then got there, and luckily because of a creature of habit, I had written down just kind of brief directions, and the map was taking me a whole different route. And when I got to this place, it was so secluded that it had no internet.
So yeah, it's
So
always
I'm like,
good to
what
have.
the hell? I'm gonna get out of here.
And then
Right.
after you printed out after you went onto your computer, you would hit print, then you'd go to your printer, and then that would have the information for that, and then you
Yeah.
would go and pick up your giant
Oh my
camera to take a
God.
picture of something you saw outside,
Yeah.
and all of that technology combined
Yeah.
wasn't even slightly as advanced
Is this
as my fingerprint covered cell phone. With
Yeah.
Google
And
Maps.
this, in a few years, will be like, we're like awe about this stuff now. Well, we're gonna be like, this is gonna be
They have a
old
foldable
school.
cell phone.
You know, you're you're not having children, but then the next couple generations are gonna be giggling at, oh, you carried that around with you? You didn't have it implanted in your temple?
Yes.
You know,
But yeah, technology's always
that was a
growing.
very bad impersonation of children to
Yeah, I
come.
don't know what that was. It's almost as good as when she tries an animal. Let's try an animal. What sound does a bat make?
They don't. Maybe they do. No, they do, because I grabbed one.
They use
They go,
echolocation, so yes.
no,
they
when I
make sound.
grabbed him, he squealed.
Yeah.
I was
That
trying
was
to
probably the
catch
most
him.
accurate animal one.
That was pretty good.
Let's think of one more good animal one before we close out.
A whole new playlist.
How about a horse? That was pretty accurate.
How old are
A
you?
horse is a horse, of course. There was an old lady who
Right.
swallowed a horse. She's dead, of course. She
She did
swallowed a
swallow a
horse.
That's
Great.
right. And we're gonna, can we end on that swallowing horses? Anyway, we
can
love
always
you
end on
guys.
swallowing
We can
horses.
always end at swallowing horses. You know about that, girlfriend. Hey,